Have you ever had a boss who thought yelling would make technology work? 19 years ago, I got what I thought was my dream job. I was 22, newly married, and needed something stable while my wife finished grad school. An acquaintance of mine had just been hired as an office manager for an interior design firm and helped me get in. The position was tech support, though that really just meant I handled anything that had a screen or a plug. The office itself looked fancy. Polished wood floors, huge windows, stylish furniture, but the place was eerily empty most of the time. My friend, the office manager, was rarely there. The owner, a designer in his 60s, who I'll call Mr. L, only appeared once or twice a week. That left me sitting alone for hours with nothing to do. At first, I didn't mind. I'd show up, browse the internet, maybe organize a spreadsheet, and then go home. Sometimes Mr. L would stop by, hand me a random task like make a list of clients, or teach me how to format cells in Excel. I'd do it, he'd smile, praise me, and occasionally even hand me a little cash bonus. It was strange, but nice. But then something changed. Mr. L started coming in more often, and every visit was chaos. One morning, he burst through the door, furious because the green ink on his printed spreadsheet wasn't the right shade. Another day, he shouted because the office manager wasn't in, demanding to know why she needed a day off. I tried to explain that I had nothing to do with any of it, but he'd just glare and storm off. The stress was unreal. I was walking on eggshells every time he was around, never knowing what would set him off. Eventually, the office manager quietly told me that Mr. L had just returned from a medical leave. He'd suffered what she called a complete breakdown and was now on medication to help manage it. Suddenly, the constant teeth grinding and the vacant, distracted look made sense, but it didn't make the job any easier. Every week, the tension grew worse. I'd wake up in the middle of the night thinking about work, replaying every conversation, wondering what I could have done differently. My wife said I tossed and turned in my sleep, muttering about spreadsheets and client files. Then one day, Mr. L came in holding a brand new handheld digital voice recorder. He set it on my desk like it was a bomb and said, "I want every recording saved in the device as boss_date_note_number. Show me how to do that." Finally, something I could handle. I took the recorder, grabbed the manual, and read through it. The files automatically saved as VR4444_timestamp.vrn, and the manual clearly said you couldn't rename them on the device, only after transferring them to a computer. Simple enough. I wrote out clear instructions, printed a guide, and went to show him. He didn't even let me finish. "What do you mean you can't rename the files?" he snapped. "Of course you can. You're just not trying hard enough." I calmly explained that it wasn't possible with that model. Even showed him the page in the manual that said so. That's when he completely lost it. His face went red, and he slammed his hand on the desk. "Figure it out," he shouted, "and don't come back until you do." The room went silent. I stared at him, trying to decide if he was serious. Then I realized he absolutely was. So I quietly gathered my things, walked out the door, and went home. That night, I slept better than I had in months. No tossing, no waking up at 3 a.m., no worrying about what shade of green ink I'd used on a spreadsheet. I just slept. The next day, I didn't go in. Then the next, and the next. I didn't call, didn't email, didn't explain. I figured if he truly wanted me gone until I figured it out, I'd take him at his word. 2 full weeks went by before my phone rang. It was Mr. L. His tone was surprisingly cheerful. "Hey," he said, "you haven't been in for a while. Everything okay? When are you coming back? I've got some computer issues that need fixing." I was stunned. "You told me not to come back until I figured out that recorder," I said. "Oh, that?" he laughed, like it was no big deal. I took it back to the store. "So, you can come back tomorrow?" I paused. "Yeah, no," I said finally. I figured I was fired, so I got another job. "Just mail me my last paycheck." There was a long silence on the other end of the line. Then he sighed and said, "Okay, that was it." I hung up, sat there for a moment, and started laughing. The man had literally told me to stay home, and then acted surprised when I did. The best part? I never had to hear the sound of him grinding his teeth again. The moment I left that office, every bit of tension I'd been carrying just vanished.